Well, g'day everyone, and welcome back to the Perkins Engineering YouTube channel. As we're filming this particular episode, we're midway through the strip down of PE 013, the old Mobile Brock VN Commodore. So I thought we'd take this opportunity, just a bit of an update on how the strip down's going and show you a few things on the car. So yeah, we've been pretty busy on this car, probably maybe 3 or 4 days of stripping everything down. And you know, obviously stripping the car is a very important part. You can't just blast it all apart with a rattle gun and put everything on the shelf. You need to individually pull each part off the car. We like to tag them up, identify where they are, then identify whether they're actually an original part from VN or whether they're an updated VP part, for example. And then we also have to document the whole process of strip down by taking numerous photos. So the photos form an integral part of the restoration, whether it's putting the car back together or knowing whether you can fill in some holes that have been drilled, things like power steering and those sort of accessories that we know weren't there in the VN. We like to eliminate those sort of things so that, you know, there's just not unnecessary holes in the floor pan and things like that. So yeah, photos form an integral part, and the strip down's a very long and slow process, but equally you can work out what's redundant, things that you won't need, things that you might be able to sell or keep or whatever else. So I'll grab the camera now and have a bit of a look around the engine that came out of the car, some of the parts that we've got on the shelf, and yeah, let's have a look. All right, so this is the 18-degree Chev engine that's come out of the car, and when we're going back to VN, we will need a hold and slide engine. So this engine's obviously coming out. Anything sort of Chev related, we will no longer require. So this is a really cool engine. It's almost what I would say is a unicorn, because it was originally an Advantage engine, and you can see the Advantage stamp there, 019, and then stamped PE 151 after we got it back from Advantage and turned it into a Perkins engine. So this came with a Kinsler manifold and things like that were all Advantage racing spec. We put a Perkins manifold on it, probably Perkins heads to match, and yeah, it's a full-blooded Perkins engine now. So got it sitting on my stand that was made for a Holden engine, so I've just got to jerry up something there so that it can be secure. But as you can see, more red overspray, which seems to have been quite a funny thing with this car, the old red paint. Not sure what that's about, but that's a story for another day. So yeah, this engine, we'll speak with the owner and determine what we do with it next. And here's one of the little parts trolleys. So we've got our calipers and rotors, struts and hats. So we'll get to servicing those at a later date, but I like to keep everything set up left and right, so everything can go back into its original spot if and when required. Okay, over to the body shell now. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of gear out of it. Some original stuff has still remained. Our trusty wooden blocks, as per drawing, for the radiator to sit on. And all the oil cooler and everything which has been pulled off was all as per original. So all the power steering lines, we've just taken those out where the power steering reservoir was mounted here. All the power steering lines, and then we can slowly get the cross member and the rest of the suspension out, and all the oil lines, finish getting a lot of those things off. But again, need to document quite a lot of photos before we blaze into the strip down. And then if we move over to the interior, it had a really ordinary passenger seat and an incorrect driver's seat in there, so got those out reasonably quickly so that we could get some interior photos and things done of all the original stuff here. So the exhaust has been running quite hot against the floor, and in VN trim, that exhaust box here all has to be removed. So we get a good look at all that stuff now, and again document with lots and lots of photos and establish what we need to do as part of the restoration. We haven't started in the boot yet. That'll be our last job. We sort of start at the front and work our way forward. But one thing I learnt from the other cars was pulling these aluminium wheel guides off on the car. Hell of a lot easier to do that with our tools on the bench than it is, with our tools when the car's on the hoist, and trying to remove some of that stuff when the parts are on the bench. So looking forward to getting the fuel tank out and the diff, and continuing with the strip down. We'll have a quick look underneath the car now. Okay, we'll have a bit of a look underneath. So we've got the struts out, and we're getting the cross member and the sway bar out next, and working our way under the car. It's quite interesting. All the Advantage Racing Blue was under here, so when this came back to Perkins Engineering, either they were pressed for time or didn't bother replacing the heat shielding and left that there, and it's gone on to live for quite a long time, which is pretty cool. Shows a bit of the heritage of the car, and it's a very unique car, this. So looking forward to getting the pedals and the reservoirs and the master cylinders, out, and all the pedal box, the PE pedals, and that's the other side of the exhaust box. All that will need to come out and filled back in with the factory floor. The diff and gearbox coolers, we need to establish if that's the correct Perkins mounting or if that's a hybrid Advantage Perkins setup from 91. And then, looking forward to getting the diff and, like I said, get the fuel tank out of the car. So lots of work to do, and looking forward to showing you more and more of this project as it comes to life. Thanks for tuning in. We'll get back to work now.